Hello and welcome to the third and final part of this interview with Bloom Consulting CEO, Filipe Torres, on his book, Nation Brand Builders. In this final part, Jose talks about the ideal nation brand that he would like to work with, covers how his book fits into the literature of nation branding, and outlines how you can get your hands on a copy of Nation Brand Builders. Enjoy. And over the course of the book, like you've mentioned prominent examples, and I'm also sure that you've worked with many successful nation brands over the course of your career, but what's one nation brand that you would like to work with? One country or one region or one city that you would like to take on the project?
That's almost like to say which are your favorite kids? Which kid do you like most? Like, I like them all. I love all countries, regions, and cities, and to work with them. They have, with a few exceptions, of course, but they all have their beauty. They all have their thing and their ambition, their vision, their aspirations, and so on. And I think that's what's important. I think the one that I'm really keen on one day to work with is with Japan, because more than anything, because of what the country is and what it has achieved and so on, but is from an experience point of view, we see that it's important to have discipline and organization and alignment and a process to achieve this. I mean, it's important to understand that this is nation branding and place branding. It's simple, but it's difficult, right? So it's really a question of having, and really the challenge lies in the stakeholder alignment, in having everyone on board, having different stakeholders, public, private, and so on, aligned with this. The more you have, the better it is. I mean, that's really where the big challenge is to have domestically stakeholders aligned with, like, what is that represents us? Who are we, and how is this relevant to my audiences, my global audiences in specific markets? So, and then this relevance is going to give anything back to the country, the city, and so on. So Japan, I think, is really what's fascinating, is because it's I think they would respect the process thoroughly, and it will be really fascinating. That's why I think it would be, aside from what the country is and what it represents, to see them performing this with beauty. That would be the fascinating thing for us.
So that sounds like an amazing project. And now, drawing back to the book, what insights does Nation Brand Builders offer compared to other nation branding books?
So I think, just to say that it's important that whoever is working on or wants to work in the nation branding industry, call it like that, let's call it sector or practice, I think it's important to read all the books about nation branding, as many as you can, place branding. There are not many. And I think that this is not like a substitute for other books and so on. I think I recommend to read a lot about this, and for other practitioners to read about the sector. So the way, and when we wrote this book, is the challenge is to inform and to build more information, to provide more information. So it's not other books that are competing with this book. It's lack of information that is competing with this book, right? So this is the objective. So other books are very important. Now, the angle that this book covers is to go over examples practical examples that have worked, not worked, and then people can relate to. And even if you're starting a nation brand initiative, place brand initiative, you can read the first chapter and see, and even show to your constituents and say, like, look, it does not work, constituents or your audiences, it does not work if we do it like this. Not because we're going to have an Olympic game that this is going to change perceptions about this place, and so on and so forth. So that's important to cover, and that there's this retrospective of the trial and errors and so on, and the nation branding 2.0 and the digital identity, which is the frontier that countries, regions, and cities now need to pay special attention.
And you mentioned in your answer that Nation Brand Builders is a great place to start for people that want to get into nation branding or the space in general. But who else is the book specifically targeted for?
Yeah. So definitely, so that audience is important. So whenever a country, a region, or city says, like, okay, I want to start a nation brand project, a region brand, city brand, whatever they want to call it, project, that this book it's for them, because it covers from A to Z, what works, does not work, and so on and so forth, right? Beyond the theory. So it's a practical aspect. Goes for the practical aspect. The other audience is for professionals that are either the head, that is the director of a nation brand and place brand initiative, and they need to show to their to their stakeholders what nation branding is. So instead of showing, it's not about creating again an Olympic game or and so on, or if it is, it has to be this way. It's a book to hand out just to show what it is, so that you can. I hate to say the word educate, but it's to show examples of what it is and what is not, so then they can see for themselves, okay, now I get it, right? So it's to put everyone on the same level. So that's why it's important, that second audience, which is professionals and practitioners. And I think the third audience is, yes, it's for professionals that want to look into nation branding 2.0. Which is an open chapter. So there's not like a specific rule of what is nation branding 2.0 and so on, but it's all about the digital identity and to see and to hear some recommendations and to read some recommendations about, okay, let's look into this and how to do it. I also think it's important to say that we also launched another, it's a manual actually, a quick guide called 14 Steps to Nation Branding, and it has even more the step-by-step on how to build a nation or place brand strategy.
Okay, so there's a lot of value that we can get from Bloom Consulting content, whether it's through the 14 Steps or through the Nation Brand Builders book. But for anybody looking to get hold of Nation Brand Builders, how can they go about getting a copy?
So you can go to our journal, which is bloom-consulting.com/journal, and you have a lot of information there. And of course, the Nation Brand Builders book is there. So you can have the information, and you can buy directly from our publisher, which is there as well, a direct link from Amazon, which is a little bit costly, but I think it's also there. And citynationplace.com, which the link is also in the same place that I'm saying. And in citynationplace.com, you have other books that I think are important to read. And in the citynationplace.com, you will also have the preview of you can download the first chapter, right, Matt? That's you can do that, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Good. So if you go to the site, Bloom Consulting, bloom-consulting.com/journal or citynationplace.com, and you can get the book directly from there.
Great. We'll be sure to check it out. Thank you very much for your time, Jose.
Thank you.